A narrow path, winding through thickets of ferns, was barely visible. Maxim held up a hand, signaling Dmytro to stop. They pressed themselves against the wet trunk of an old oak, listening intently to the sounds of the night forest. For 3 days, they had been on the run, escaping from enemy captivity. Their bodies ached from exhaustion, and their heads were light from hunger. But the two brothers in arms stayed together. Maxim, the older and more experienced of the two, took on the role of guide. He knew the forest like the back of his hand, having grown up here, hunting with his father since he was a boy. Dmytro, younger and faster, always went last, covering their rear. His sharp eyesight helped him spot small traps and signs left by their pursuers. They moved only at night. During the day, they hid in dense thickets to leave no traces. Once, they found an abandoned forester's hut. There was no food, but there was a well from which they drank clean, cold water. This water seemed to them to be the most delicious thing in the world. Their plan was simple: head north to the river, then follow it to a village they knew. Somewhere on the outskirts, an old friend of Maxim's lived, who helped the partisans. They believed he would not abandon them. During one of these night journeys, Dmytro noticed tracks on the ground. They were fresh, which meant the pursuers were somewhere nearby. The comrades stopped, their hearts pounding with fear and tension.
"There are 2, maybe 3 of them.
Dmytro whispered.
And they are following us."
Then we must deceive them.
Maxim replied. They decided to split up, leaving a visible trail for only one person. Maxim ran on, while Dmytro began to circle back to confuse the trail. It was risky, but it was their only way out. They agreed to meet at an old pine tree that stood on the roadside. A few hours later, exhausted and wounded, they met again. Dmytro recounted how he had led the pursuers away and then disappeared into the thickets. Maxim said he had found an old well where they hid until morning. With each passing day, their chances of salvation grew. They had very little way left to go, and in a few days, they were supposed to reach the village. They felt that victory was near. When they finally saw the first lights of the village, their eyes filled with tears. They hugged each other. Their journey was not easy, but they endured it because they were together. It was the story of two brothers in arms, who escaped from enemy captivity to return home.